to be. The Eagles taking on the Commanders. The Eagles are 12-2 on the year, 6-1 on the road, going into Washington and taking on a 9-5 Commanders team that is 5-2 at home. Let's quickly take a look at the injuries for the Eagles. Landon Dickerson, it's probably their best lineman, is a true questionable. A.J. Brown, true questionable as well. And Sidney Brown, the safety, is the true questionable. Bryce Huff, the D-end, is out on IR. And Dallas Goedert is obviously on IR as well. On the other side, it's a plethora of questionables for the Commanders. Jeremy Chin, their safety. Cleveland Farrell. Cleveland Farrell was like a top 5 pick. Boy, that guy's been a bust. He's a true questionable. John Bates and Zach Ertz, both tight ends, true questionables. And Daron Payne, one of their better young interior defensemen, is a questionable as well. Ben, I don't think we've started with you today. What do you like in the Eagles Commanders?
No, we have not started with me today. And actually, I know it's a divisional game, and I don't usually like doing this in late season divisional games, but I'm going to be taking the over in this game, 45.5. You just mentioned it with some injuries there for the Commanders, already not that great of a defense. And then now you add in the fact that they're up against one of the top-rated offenses in the league with the top rushing offense with a banged-up D-line. So I really think that even though usually with a run-heavy game plan, you think under, but I think it's going to be explosive runs. I think they're going to keep the ball moving. And while the clock will be moving, I think they're going to score enough here. Because 45.5, it just doesn't feel high enough for me in this one. I think this game's going to see 50 points. You have this Commanders offense that hasn't been able to really stop the run this year. And in the first meeting of the year, I know it only ended with 44 points, but it felt like it could have been a lot more than that with the Commanders offense against the Philadelphia Eagles, who do have a really good secondary. But I think that Jayden Daniels is going to use his legs a lot more in this matchup, and we're actually going to see him run a bit more in this one because he only had 18 rushing yards in the first matchup. And I think he's going to use his legs a little bit more in this one. They're going to adjust. They're going to score some more. And we got really close in that first one. It was at 44. So I think this one we'll see a little more high scoring as we come down the end.
Ben, I don't know why the hell I let you go first. Because I'm also on the over 45.5. All the points I wanted to make, you said pretty perfectly there. I agree with you 1,000%, bro. I think this game is comfortably going to go over. I think these offenses have both improved. I think both defenses are a little banged up. They've kind of given up some points lately. I mean, you take a look right now at the most recent games for the Commanders. There were 39 points in the Commanders versus the Saints last week. I have to think there's going to be at least 10 more points than that one. The game before, the Commanders scored 42 points alone against the Titans and gave up 19 in that one. The week before, 34-26 against Dallas. We all saw that game. That was unbelievable. There were no starters basically playing for Dallas, and Dallas still put up 34 against them. The week before, that's the game Ben was just talking about, 26-18. And the week before was a 28-27 game against Pittsburgh. So we're seeing high totals in these. I do believe the total is a little too low for this one. I won't take up any more time. Give me the over 45.5. JD, we're going to go to you, and then we'll close with Jammer on this one. What do you got?
All right. Well, just to save a little bit of time, just take everything actually y'all said, and then as far as the model goes, it actually has this at 48 point actually 5.
You're going to say do the opposite.
Me too. I thought that was coming too.
No.
Let's go.
No. This is a game that I actually need to spend a little bit more time with. But yeah, the over to me makes a lot of sense here. Makes a lot of sense. I will say, as far as the Eagles, I actually have been on them now for like weeks because I just thought like the number on them has just been short and this week I think that has finally flipped. This actual week, the Eagles, as far as value, I am not showing any there. As far as the actual like Commander side, I'm showing a little bit of value there, but not enough to really actually jump in. But actually, yeah, to me the over actually makes sense. So
I love it. I love it. Jammer.
So we all know the Commanders had a hot start to the season, but that was all because of their strength of schedule. Second easiest schedule in the NFL. For me, I think this is the first step to the Commanders losing that wild card playoff spot. I know they have an easy schedule to end the season, but this is the first one that's just kind of you're going to take away that confidence that they have in their rookie quarterback, not leading into the future, but just for this season in general. I think that the Eagles just go in there and just sweep the floor with them. So I'm all over the Eagles minus 3.5. They're going to dominate time of possession. They're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. And hopefully we get to see some Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, squash that beef that they got going on. I'm all over the Eagles minus 3.5.
You don't think the Commanders are going to make the playoffs with 9 wins already, and they still have 2 games remaining? One of them after this week. They play the Falcons, who
they have an easy
and they
schedule,
play the Cowboys, who you don't think they're going to get in?
Hey, JD, tell them all about Michael Penix Jr. Dumb all
Michael
that.
who?
Mike-
Right? But you really don't think they're going to get in?
No, I'm telling you, this is going to be the first game. That's it's going to be the first step to them losing that spot to either the Seahawks or someone who's behind them.
Well, yeah, I was going to
Very
say there's only
interesting.
one spot left because you have the Packers and Vikings who are pretty much locked in there. I mean, pretty much, not 100%. Well, the Vikings are, the Packers aren't. But yeah, the
I was going to say,
Seahawks.
wait, why would the Packers have a better chance than them right there? I mean, they're 10-4, but I do think that it's going to be the Packers. I think it's going to be the Commanders, and I think it's probably going to be the Rams. But continue.
What about the Vikings?
Vikings will get in. I apologize. Vikings, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Vikings are locked in. Packers are pretty much locked in. 100.
Y'all could win the division, too. You might not be the wild card team. You guys could win the division.
That would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, then either way, it's the Lions. So actually,
yeah.
Commanders kind of do have to win. Like, he makes a good point. You got an 8-6. You have two. Yeah, I mean, Seahawks.
It's a bold prediction because they have a very easy schedule to end the season, but who knows, man?
Remember, Seahawks play Vikings this week, which we will be getting into in a minute. But that's tough.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, actually, because they're losing for sure.
Is that
Well,
leading
when we
into
get to my
something?
play, that's going to lead into something for sure. I agree with you there. But yes, absolutely. Everyone's gone over this game. Any props we want to give on this game either? No props. All right.
Well, actually, I was gonna say, if anything, I don't hate a little Jaden Daniels rushing action. I don't know what his updated line is at, but I'm gonna get it right now. It's at 40.5. Actually, that's a little high. Never mind.
It's a little
It's a little high
high.
for me. I don't like it.
I agree with you there. Before we
Saquon
go into the
Barkley
next game,
receiving.
we're just talking a little bit about Michael Penix. Anyone taking the Giants money line this week?